Hello and welcome to Rauta's Reviews. Today we have kind of a special review because not only one, two, but three different albums on one review. And the reason is this, they are all part of the same package in terms of being a trilogy and first time on CD. So what I'm actually holding here are three different CDs from the very same band. They are reissues and for the first time, like I said, on CD. They've been previously only available on LP format. And now it's time to do some fun service thing in the terms of, releasing these on CD and also in a very nice package. So where to start? Because it's three different albums from the very same bands doing very same kind of music with the very same kind of concept. Tiresome, maybe a little bit curious, like kind of like what WTF? I don't know where to start. So let's get going with the fact that this band called Dark Buddha Rising is from Finland. Started around 2007, and at first they did an album called just I, or One in Roman letters, which was more or less a demo recording. Some still seem to consider that a full-length album, and I'm kind of undecided what's the real truth. But it seems that officially it's not a full-length album. However, that's beside the point of this review. What I'd like to show you here and say about these releases that I have, these three here. These are called Ritual IX, which is the first one here. The one that doesn't actually have the name on the cover. Then we have, I don't know how to say it, Entheomorphosis, which is the second album here. And also the third one called Absolute Trans Infinite. Very hipsterisk titles and covers. But let's go in the chronological order and start with the Ritual IX. So this is their first real album from 2008. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just alt tabbing here, which is not common for me, but I'm trying to just double check the ideas that I don't mess with the years and all that stuff while I'm checking out the facts for you, which I have there as text. So this is how it looks like inside. Very cool in design, very simple digi sleeve. All released, like you see, SWAT Records from Finland. They've also, as far as I understood, repressed the vinyls here. So this is about 70 minutes, give or take, doom, sludge, drone, psychedelic stuff. And the same goes with all these albums. So I'm trying to cover them all here in a way that it doesn't take too much your time, your precious time here. As you can see, pretty much the same kind of design as well as the CD, obviously. Once again, 4 songs, about 70 minutes, black and gray, or black and kind of a silvery design. Same with the third album here. Same design, same concept, once again. And about 70 minutes, give or take, music. So all in all, these are more than 3 hours of music, I think nearly 4 hours or whatsoever, and all have 4 songs. That is typically these albums have some songs which are short ones, are like 14, 15 minutes, and the longer ones are around 20 to 22 minutes. So basically it's like 2 shorter songs which are really, really lengthy, and then 2 extra long songs which are to kind of make this impact more heavy, more ambient like, and all that stuff. Now all these albums, like I said, have the same concept, 4 songs, and even the track lengths are pretty much the same kind. And the 2 first ones actually have the fourth tracks are actually more like ambient like. They're not so much metal, if this album is, or these albums are metal in the first place, because to kind of like trying to avoid labeling and easy boxing. Like I said, it's all about combination, having kind of a really slow tempo, doomy stuff. But then again, it's more on the sludge side. Then again, it's almost dronish, and to a certain extent, it's also ambient. So all these elements are, like grown into one symbiotic thing, which then again is what Dark Buddha Rising is. So kind of a unique snowflake, if you get my drift. But then again, there are familiar elements for various genres. But this is the kind of a band that if you do like one album, you're probably going to like all of them. Of course, there are some nuances which are like this is more my favorite than this one. But in theoretically speaking, they're more or less the same, and not in a bad way, I might add. The thing here is also it works the other way. That if you dislike just like one of the album, feeling like it's just too much repetition, it's too much this and that, then just skip the rest of them. It's not gonna change. For example, when I was going through these albums, I went each and every album, like I gave like 3 full spins, just figure out, put some lining notes and blah blah blah, to see how I felt. Then I moved to the next one, repeated the pattern, and the third one, and again. And in my opinion, for me, they worked exactly the same, with very little differences here and there. For example, I could say that I'm more leaning to Ritual IX rather than the third one because there are minor differences. The first one has more ambient-like, and the third one is more maybe psychedelia, more experimental. But those differences are not that big. And how these albums actually work is very unmusical. There are lots of repetition. The riffs are very simple and kind of a dronish due to the sound, the production. The guitars are like boom, and you get the idea. It's not about so much riffing or guitar solos, except that there are some. And the way these songs kind of change from more of metallic kind of sound, kind of dronish thing to ambience is not that far a leap. It's actually quite simple. You start with more metallic, kind of a doom flirting kind of music, and then you end up finishing the album with this ambient kind of outro. Well, if 20 minutes counts as an outro. There are also some silenced parts where you just kind of start like, did the album already finish? Oh, it's just halfway through, and all that stuff. But due to the length of these albums, like over 70 minutes each and one of them, it's really hard to enjoy them on one go unless you have the kind of a proper mindset to go with these albums. Also, all these albums have pretty much the same type of production. It's kind of a soft and mushy sound. It's not so much like metallic and razor sharp or anything like that. It's about creating these heavy vibrations, so to speak. This is not riff oriented or even less vocal oriented music. While there are some vocals, they're kind of like on the background. It's all about having these wavelengths just droning to your head like drilling and giving you this kind of a trip like experience. But also if you're more into, even more into ambient, like for example, I'm a big dark ambient fan. These are like taking you only the halfway. So these are not riff oriented, but they are not ambient enough to take you all the way down. So they're like this raft. There's this huge river, metal on one side of the shore, and the other shore it's just non-metallic landscape of ambience and whatnot. And this is basically the raft that just goes between these two shores, or this way. It doesn't really matter. And it's the way it's flirting with each other. It's kind of interesting, but it's also very tiresome because 70 minutes for an album, doesn't matter what the genre is, can be really, really exhausting. And as such, like I said, you have to be for the right mindset. These are not probably the albums you take when you go jogging or to the gym, or maybe you commute to your workplace, unless you want to sleep, anyway. But then again, I could imagine these for your music when you just want to relax on your couch or bed, and you just want to get these psychedelic things, kind of like trigger your brain into something something weird, something out of your everyday life. So very interesting music, and at the same time also very much on the background stuff. Really hard to describe as such, because usually you have your, this is thrash metal, this is doom metal, this is black and whatever. But these are, like I said already, I'm repeating here myself, I know. These are just, getting all these tiny little bits and, just putting them into the one shape, which is then again kind of shapeless, amorphous in a way. So interesting stuff if you are into sludge, doom, droning stuff, into ambience, tiny bit. But if you are heading for more riff and song, singing oriented music, just skip this one. It's really the type for acquired taste only. But should you be a fan and you don't have a vinyl player, but you just love to get this album, now it's the proper time to get it. So this is available on Trilogy, as well as should be available as individual CDs and LPs as well. So whatever is your way of getting records, streaming, physical or otherwise, this is now the time. Nice packaging, nice concept, and what can I sell? What can I say? What can I add? Is that go to see this band live if you can. I haven't, but what I've read and understood from fellow guys into this kind of music, they've said that this is one of the best in the genre, and for me it's a good recommendation. I don't know about you, but give it a chance. Who knows, maybe you will fall in love, and if not, don't blame me, I warned you. Thank you for watching or listening. See you soon. More stuff coming your way. Signing off.